everybody, in today's video I want to give you information about Korean's Three Kingdom period. Before that, I want to talk about major industries in South Korea, modern South Korea. There are several main developed aspects. One of them is tourism. Of course, tourism is well developed in South Korea, and summertime tourists can visit Jeju-do Island or our current place Yeosu. And Jeju-do Island, main touristic destinations are Halasan Mountain and Canola Flowers. Of course, we cannot imagine Jeju-do without its beautiful beach and tropical weather. In winter time, Gangnam region, Gangnam province attracts tourists with several winter season stops like fishing on frozen lake or frozen river, and of course ski. We are shooting our video here in the forest by the lake, and I just wanted to give you information about the fact that where we are shooting our video. You can see you can do a lot of fun stops here. Now let me begin our journey here, but it's not our topic. Our topic is Korea's Three Kingdoms period and travel destinations.
Now I'm going to talk about the biggest country existed on the Korean peninsula, Goguryeo. Goguryeo, also later known as the Koryo, was the Korean kingdom, which was located on the northern and central parts of the Korean peninsula, and also the southern and the central parts of the modern day Northeast China.
And Goguryeo was one of the few countries on Korean peninsula that ever had land on other countries, other regions, except Korean peninsula. For example, it has lands on Chinese territories or Russian territories, even Inner Mongolia. Now, they are currently in Chinese lands, Russian lands, not Mongolian lands, because Inner Mongolia is a part of China. So now, I'm going to talk about one of the three kingdoms of Korea. That's Silla. For Koreans, it's Silla. And Silla existed between 57 BC and 935 BC. And it has a land on northern and central parts of Korean peninsula, and later it formed with other two kingdoms as unified Silla. It had the lowest population of 850,000 people among the other two kingdoms. The Silla's kingdom later began to ally with Chinese dynasties, first Sui dynasty and then Tang dynasty. It eventually conquered the other two kingdoms and forced Baekje in 660 BC, later than Goguryeo 668 BC. And then for nearly a decade, Silla fought against the Tang dynasty to expel Chinese forces on Korean peninsula and intend to create Tang colonies on Chinese lands. And then in middle period of Silla's middle period, faced a lot of wars, and Shilla's middle period characterized by rising the power of monarchy at the expense of Jingal nobility. In the final century, Shilla faced a lot of civil wars, and Shilla's king was reduced to a figurehead. That's why a lot of noble families rose outside of capital city and the court.
Goguryeo was an ancient kingdom in Korea that began around 2000 years ago and lasted for a very long time. And they were very famous for being really good at fighting and expanding their territories by winning with other kingdoms. And the king and queens of the Goguryeo lived in big cities and with strong walls to protect them from enemies.
And in Goguryeo, people had their own ways to build impressive buildings and creating beautiful art. Over time, Goguryeo got into conflicts with other kingdoms and started to lose its power over the Korean peninsula. However, it eventually was conquered by another Korean kingdom called Shilla with the help of a powerful empire called Tang Dynasty from China. However, now Goguryeo isn't around anymore, but Goguryeu's legacy still lives on in Korean history and Korean culture.
Baekje was established in 18th BC by King Onjo in the region of modern-day Seoul. The kingdom expanded southwards and consolidated its power in the Han River basin. At its peak, Baekje controlled a large portion of the southwestern Korean peninsula. Baekje was a cultural bridge between Korea and Japan, significantly influenced early Japanese culture. The kingdom transmitted Buddhism, Chinese characters, and various Chinese artistic styles to Japan. Baekje art and architecture were highly sophisticated. The Miruksa temple and the stone pagoda of Baekje are notable examples of Baekje contributions to Korean Buddhism art. Buddhism was officially adopted by Baekje in the 4th century during the reign of King Asin. The religion flourished and led to the construction of numerous temples and the creation of Buddhism texts and art. Monks and scholars from Baekje played an important role in the spreading Buddhism to Japan. Baekje had a strong maritime capabilities, facilitating trade and culture exchanges with the neighboring regions, including China and Japan. The kingdom location along Yellow Sea allowed it to become a hub for international trade. Throughout its history, Baekje frequently engaged in warfare and its neighbors, Goguryeo and Shilla. It formed alliances with the various Chinese dynasties and Yamato Japan to counterbalance these rivalries. In the 7th century, Baekje allied with Goguryeo to resist the growing power of Shilla. However, the alliance was ultimately unsuccessful. Baekje decline began in the 7th century due to internal strife and external pressures. In the 660s CE, it was defeated by the combined forces of Shilla and the Tang Dynasty of China. The fall of Baekje marked a significant turning point, leading to the eventual unification of Korea and Shilla under Shilla.